Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to Steel and Story. Just hanging out today. It's a Memorial Day weekend, so we have a little extra time. Kind of late at night. Just got back in. Decided I'd do a little bit of an unboxing here. Um, got this one in. It's my latest case knife. So if I haven't mentioned it already, I'm kind of been dipping into case knives recently. Going through a little journey of my collecting here. I'm more familiar with when it comes to traditionals, more familiar with Great Eastern Cutlery. I have Shatton Morgans in the past, but lately I've been really kind of getting into case knives, right? And it's like its own ecosystem. It's got its own nomenclature, it's got its own patterns. So this one is something that I picked up um, recently. This is an eBay grab, right? So it's a case, chrome vanadium, and let's see what it says here. Again, it's new to me, but it is fairly unused. It's a Texas Jack, right? There it is, right there. I'm trying to get this on screen from the year. So now I don't really know. I think it's, oh, there it is. So it's from actually May. It's May right now, but it's May 2000. So it's almost exactly 25 years old because it's May right now and it's 2025. So let's see what else is on here. I'm not sure what the 92 is. So hey, if you guys know what that means, is that the pattern number? I believe if I remember reading this. So case what it does is first number 6 is like the cover material, 2 is like blade numbers, and 92 is the pattern number. So like I think this would be a 92 pattern, and that would be a Texas Jack, right? So this is a Texas Jack. And again, bear with me, guys. I'm just trying to, we're in this together. If you're new to case, we're in this together. If you're a case aficionado, and I know there's a lot of guys out there. If you're out there, help me out. So this is the knife, right? Like, so let's just look at the condition here, right? It's pretty good condition, I would say. I don't think it's been used too much. It was sold as pretty much newish. Um, Looks like it's factory edge, but it did, it was noted that there was going to be some rust on the pen blade. That's my fingerprint right there. This is just my fingerprint. Okay. But yeah, I can see that rust. I think that'll come off. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, it's actually strangely not doesn't have a lot to the touch. It's actually smooth. It's almost like patinaed in there. Yeah, I don't know. We'll try to polish that off. Not tonight, but we'll get there. This is just the first look at it. So what do I think about it? So I've never had. First of all, I don't have a lot of case knives, but like I have never actually owned a Texas Jack. I'm not exactly sure how that's different than other jackknives. One thing right off the bat is this is a little bit bigger. Let's see here. It's bigger than I thought it would be, actually. I don't know why I thought it was going to be a smaller knife. But this is, if you look at this next to this Swiss Army, or let's see, what else do I have to compare it to? A case canoe. So it's like, good half-inch longer than a case canoe, right? But similar kind of bone color, I would say. I do like the bone that case does, especially some of the older stuff has a lot of charm. I really do think. I like the feel, the texture. It's not for everybody. I do wish that it was maybe a little darker, And again, it's probably more for everyone's preference, but I don't like how it gets really pale out towards the edges there. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. So I have one more case here that I pulled out just to do some compare and contrast. So this is like a full-size trapper. This trapper was from, I think I looked it up. It's hard to tell. Like, I'm still learning how to determine all the ages with all the tang stamps and everything, but I believe this one's actually from the 90s. And the thing I wanted to point out was that I actually prefer when it's dark, at least with this red bone. I like it when it's dark all the way through. On this one, and maybe I'll do another video on this knife too, but on this side it gets really light towards the ends here, and I don't like that. And it kind of, on this it does that too, and it gets almost like this pale color, almost like a pink, or like a kind of like, it reminds me of how watermelon sometimes is like really red and then it gets like light, and I don't like it. But overall, maybe it'll darken, I don't know, but it looks like it's in good shape, no cracks, you know. The 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 back springs look really good. I mean, this whole thing looks almost mint. A little bit of patina, but I think that pen blade, that patina will come right off. So, again, let's just take a look here. There, no half stop, right? So it just comes right out. Let's see for this. Yep, no half stop, no half stops for either blade. Pull weight, pretty typical case. Pull weight, I would say it's kind of like same as this full size trapper. Um, I would say like 5, 6, something like that. What I do like, honestly, I know this is maybe not controversial. Maybe I'm the only one, but I'm not a huge fan of nail breaking, super tough, pull weights. Everyone's talking about gator snaps and wanting to just, have these things be like a menace to society when you pull it open. I mean, I get it. If you're working with these, good on you. Like, just go ahead and have a nice tough, if you're afraid of this thing closing on you, you want a nice hard snap, so that stays open and it's, it's not going to go anywhere. But for someone who's like, maybe, I'll be honest, again, this is just me, I don't do anything crazy with these knives. If I did, I would pull out a bigger knife, a modern blade, a fixed blade, like, for me, these are the kind of things where you slip this in your pocket. It comes in and out every day, or maybe multiple times a day. You're, slicing open boxes, you're working in a warehouse, you're doing things around the yard. You may not need it, but you may need it a couple times. And every time you do it, you want to be able to pull it open and use it and put it away. And I don't want to have this war with my own knife, opening and shutting and breaking my nails. So, hey, maybe I'm a sissy and maybe my nails are just not cut out for some of these, but like these I can open pretty easily. Same with this trapper, very, very easy to open. I think adequate, adequate pull. These canoes, I actually really like these canoes, just the way they fit. And I did kind of a video where I talked a little bit more about them, but just the way they feel, and also like they're pinchable. You can really just pull this out. Next thing you know, you're cutting, and it has a real good ergonomics. Just for me, EDC kind of day to day, that's kind of what I look for. Easy to open, easy to use. This kind of fills that role, I think. It's 2 blades. If you want to do some major cutting, you can pull that big one open. In terms of action, not bad. It's pretty gritty, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not been fleshed out yet. Could probably do some fleshing right now with it. Oh god, that is gritty right there. I think I just worked some grit into it. I don't see anything there, but what I'm gonna do is, anybody else use this stuff? It's a little pricey, I would say. KPL, I guess it's literally for knives, but I like it. I think it's nice because it comes in a convenient little dispenser, and there's other stuff like this out there in the market, but it's always nice to have something like this. By the way, one of the things, I know this sounds strange, maybe you guys will know what I mean. This smells good. It has like a smell. I swear to God, it does. If you guys ever get this stuff, let me know what you think. Maybe it's just me, but I like the smell. It's kind of like a vanilla smell. I don't know what to call it, to be honest, but it's It's very pleasing. It doesn't smell like chemicals. Not that I mind it. I actually kind of like a lot of smells from lubricants and chemicals, but like I don't know. I just feel like that's just an added bonus, and it works pretty well to me. To be fair, it's got like the right texture and consistency to like hang in there, but not make a mess. You know, you don't want it too loose, the oil, but you also don't want it to like. I find mineral oil to be great. It's cheap. It's really readily available. I use it, especially if I'm flushing like large amounts. Like I'm trying to really like clean it out, and I'll pour it almost right in there and just open up the blades and just get all the gunk out. Um, but it runs, right? Like mineral oil is just so loose that it just drips everywhere and it's just all over the scales, everything. I like this oil because it does seem to just stay in the pivots. And I'll use this for modern folders too, right? Like you can put it in between. I find it's great. You can put it in between your pivots with the bearings, and it doesn't seem to attract dust and dirt in there. Anyway, as usual, right? I should just call this channel digression because it's just me digressing everywhere. But yeah, this should flush out pretty well once we open and close it a few times. But it's it's kind of like a little bit smaller than a full-size trapper. Let's just put it apples to apples here so we don't so I would say it's kind of like somewhere between there in terms of size, right? And I would say in terms of width, it feels like to me for the full size trapper, it's a little bit thicker. At least the one I have. You know, it's not as thin as the canoe, but it's not as thick as this full size trapper, which I think is a real kind of like a real knife, you know, like you pull this out, it's time to go to work on this, you know, like because it fills your whole hand. Um, Whereas this still has that little pocketability factor, but I still can get all my fingers on it. So it's got that nice, in between. What I do like about it is, and I've not had a Texas jack yet, but it's kind of interesting in that a lot of times you'll have a swell end, right? This is kind of the opposite in a lot of ways. It's actually narrow towards the end and kind of swelled towards the front more than it is towards the end. So really, you're really getting a grip on the front, and the end kind of just disappears into your palm. So you're really getting a different. I don't know why that is, but I like it. I really do. So what else can I say about it? I'm kind of a big fan of. I'm growing to become a big fan of double-ended bolsters. You know, this one is like that, obviously, but so is this trapper. I don't know. It just maybe is it just the symmetry? It's just something about it. It just makes it look complete. I guess it is the symmetry, but to me, I feel like when you've got bolsters on both sides, it just completes the look. It makes it look a little classier, a little tougher, a little bit more refined. Like there's something to it. Um, a lot of the knives I've been carrying lately, I just feel like I've been gravitating towards it. So maybe it's just me. Anyway, what do you guys think? Anybody else here? Texas, what is it called? Texas Jack, right? Anybody else a Texas Jack fan? How do you feel about it? By the way, this is 25 years old and it looks great. I think I don't know what they look like currently. I don't know if they're still making these. Again, I'm sorry that this is not a very informational video. It's just my honest journey. I don't know much about these. I like the one I've got here. Again, small preference issues. I prefer like a darker red bone, etc. But the pattern itself, I think is great. Would I prefer maybe a smaller version? Maybe. I think that would be cool. If they made a smaller version, I'm sure they do have something. It probably wouldn't be called a Texas Jack. There's probably a smaller. I mean, this is just really a jackknife. It's just a two blade jackknife. So we're not, doing anything. We're not reinventing anything here. I'm sure the case makes other patterns that would be a little bit more pocketable, but this one has a certain appeal. It's a full size work knife, yet somehow smaller than the Trapper. So I do like that. I think for me, this clip point and maybe this pen blade. Let's see. This pen blade. Yeah. I think this is a more usable blade combination to me than two full size blades that we all know trappers have, with the spade blade right here and the clip point blade, right? Like we love this, but I don't know if everybody uses both of these blades all the time. I'm sure some people do, but for me, around the house, around work, around office, I think most people would probably find this actually more usable with this large pen. I mean, this could be a worker on its own, but then you add this, this versatility. I think this is actually a better combination for most people. At least that's how I feel. So, what do you guys think? How are these in your collection? Is this? I mean, it's the first time I've come across it, um, but I haven't really done a lot of research. I saw this, came up on eBay. I just like clicked on it and said, "Hey, let's give it a try." And the year 2000 kind of was a nice year to jump into it. And I assumed that maybe it would be a good piece. Case had a good run 20 something years ago, so this one is good. It's a very solid knife. I like it. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about all these knives? Actually, this is kind of like then I have a couple more cases, but I just pulled these out just because I guess the size comparison. But I've been dipping myself into the case pool slowly, learning about how to tell which patterns are which, and I mean it's a whole new thing. And what I like about them, by the way, is you can get these from a variety of places. If you want a modern one, you can find those. But if you want something more vintagey, these are probably only 20 years old, more or less. This one's, I think, from the 90s. This one's, we just saw this one's from 2000. I believe this one, maybe another one from the 90s. But you can pick these up and they don't cost as much as maybe GEC or some of the other some of the other knives that are available right now. But the collectability is still there. I mean, the quality, if you look for the right ones, are still there. I like that about Case. It's like kind of in a weird way, kind of approachable. What's a little bit not approachable is like there's so many different ones. It's hard to find some of the vintage ones. There's a lot more to learn because it goes back decades and decades. So there's a lot to dig through. But I'm enjoying it. So it's been fun so far. What do you guys think? Let me know. Please comment and subscribe if you haven't already. It's been really fun. It's been about a week in since the channel started, so I just want to thank everyone that's been coming in and supporting. And it's why I started, because it's just fun to interact with the community. So we're just hanging out. Let me know what you guys think, and if you want to see some other stuff, let's talk about it. Leave a comment, subscribe. Thanks, guys.